All right, this diagram is very similar to what we looked at with Law of Cosines yesterday. What are the big things that we noticed?
The same letters are across from each other.
The corresponding sides and corresponding angles are across from each other. So angle A is across from side A. Same thing with B and same thing with C. What was the other big thing compared to what we've been? What'd you say?
It's not a right triangle.
Not a right triangle. Okay, so same thing we're dealing with here where we're dealing with the same triangle. Okay. Except we're going to be doing law of cosines next. So go ahead and write this off to the side, kind of in your margins. Law of cosines and then that formula so that you can have that. Looking at this formula of law of cosines, I want to talk about some things that you notice. Shout them out. What do you see? What do the letters stand for? I heard someone say letters. Sides. Most of them are sides. What is the one on the end? That one's an angle. Okay, so there's one specific angle we're talking about. Okay, the rest is sides. What else do you notice? A lot of you are thinking Pythagorean theorem right now, right? Right, get Pythagorean theorem out of your head. Yes, if I cut this off, that is Pythagorean theorem, except these are flipped. Don't think Pythagorean theorem right now. Okay, what are some patterns that you see?
B and C always come after A.
Okay.
Or B and C are always together.
Based off of my angle A, we start with side A. Does that make sense? So those two are corresponding sides and angles. Okay. The rest is what the sides we have left over. Okay. What I think is going to help this make the most sense is if we just jump right into an example how to set it up. Okay. So you have that example to look at. I'm just going to rewrite it up here. So I have a squared equals b squared plus c squared minus 2bc cosine of a. So what I want us to do to start these problems, I want you to circle the angle that they give you. Okay, what angle do they give us on A? 62. And we're looking for DE. Circle 62. What's its corresponding side? X. I'm going to call those our focal points. Okay, that's what we're going to set up in our equation. So here's the side A, and here's my angle A. That's what we're basing that equation off of. Okay, so if I write this equation, I have x squared, because that's the side, x squared equals, what are my two other sides that don't have anything to do with the angle? 6 and 8. It does not matter the order you put those, so I'm going to do 6 squared plus 8 squared minus, now I'm here, I have 2, what is b and c? 6 and 8, yep. And then I have cosine of what? 62. Again, to check if you set it up right, these two are corresponding sides and angles. Okay? Now it's just a matter of solving. Okay? So what you're going to do here, let's evaluate. What's 6 squared? 36. 8 squared? 64. What do you think you do with these three numbers? Multiply those together. You get 96. And then cosine of 62. What is super nice about this, from here on out, you can do it in your calculator. Okay, so in your calculator, you're going to start here, and you're going to go left to right exactly how it is. Okay, so you're going to go 36 plus 64 minus 96 times cosine of 62. Hit equals. Leave that number in your calculator. You do not have to write it down. Okay, right now, you should have 54.93 something. Yeah. You agree? Is x by itself yet? No, what do I got to do? Got to take the square root. So this is where you're going to open up your square root, and then you're going to put your answer in there. So second answer, like we did yesterday.
7.4.
Yep, you should get x equals 7.4. What did I tell you to start off with? The angle that we have. What angle do we have? 110. What's its corresponding side? X. Those are our focal points, okay? So how do I start this equation off?
X squared equals 12 squared plus 18.
Yep, x squared equals 12 squared plus 18 squared minus, what's next? 2 times 12 times 18 times cosine 110. So this turns into x squared equals 12 squared. Thank you, 144 plus 18 squared. 324. What do I do with these three terms right here? Multiply. What do you get when you multiply those three terms together? 432. cosine of 110. What do you do once you get to this point? Calculator, left to right. So, all together, we take 144 plus 324 minus 432 times cosine of 110. Is that my answer, what I have in my calculator? No, what's our last step? Square root. Yep, square root your answer. What'd you guys get?
24.8.
You should get 24.8. So on this one, remember, still using law of cosines. Again, directions are going to tell you to use it whenever I want you to. Okay, so we're using law of cosines. Start with the angle that they give you. What's the angle that we have? X, right? So x, what relates to x? 4. So those are my focal points that we're going to use to set up the equation. Okay, so how do I start the equation?
4 squared.
Yes, 4 squared.
6 squared.
4 squared equals 6 squared plus 7 squared minus 2 times 7 times 6 times cosine of x. Yes. The only thing that's different about this one is we know the side, we don't know the angle. That's the only difference. Okay? This, however, is more of a pain in the butt to solve. Okay? It's not as nice as what the other ones were. So, take it one at a time. What's 4 squared? 16. What's 6 squared? 36. 7 squared? 49. Multiply those terms together. We get 84. And then we still have cosine of x. Now, let's focus on that right side there. How can I simplify? I want to combine those like terms. Yep, combine these two right here. What do I get when I add those together? 16 equals 85 minus 84 cosine of x. Now remember, what's our whole goal right now? To find x, right? To get x by itself. So what should I do next? Right, so x is here. What do I want to do first to get x by itself? I heard someone say it. Subtract 85. Yep. This is very similar if I said, okay, this is 16 equals 85 minus 84x. What would we do to solve that?
Subtract x from 16.
What would I do to solve that equation? Right here.
Subtract 85.
I would subtract 85. So same thing over here. We're going to subtract 85. Once you solve one of these, you're always going to solve every one the same. Okay, so subtract 85. We have 16 minus 85, and you get negative 69 equals, what's left over there? Negative 84 cosine x. Now, bless you, what do I do here? Divide by negative 84. Yep. Now, you do not need to reduce that. You can keep that normal. Okay, so I get 69 over 84 because two negatives make a positive equals, what's on the other side? Cosine of x. Yep. We're super close. What's the last step to get x by itself here? You could, but yes. I want to get cosine alone, so we're going to do inverse cosine. So remember, when you do that, you're going to have x equals cosine inverse of 69 over 84. This is very similar, right? You're going to type that in your calculator like you always have. So second cosine, 69 divided by 84. What do you got?
34.77.
Let's go nearest tenth. So we get 34.8. Where do we start with these? Again, we're using law of cosines. Where do we start to set up? Start with the angle. What's the opposite of that angle? 8. Thank you. So we set this up. Double check with what you have. You should have 8 squared equals 11 squared plus 13 squared minus 2 times 11 times 13 cosine of x. That's what you should have. Okay. So solving here, 8 squared is 64. 11 squared is 121. 13 squared is 169. And then 2 times 11 times 13, we have 286 cosine x. I want to go over this step again because I know we can get lost here. What do I want to do next? Yep, combine like terms on that right side. So we have 64 equals, I'm going to add those two. 121 plus 169. You get 290 minus 286 cosine x. From here. Yep, subtract 290. So you will get 64 minus 290, negative 226 equals negative 286 cosine x. Next. Divide by negative 286. Do I need to reduce that fraction?
No.
No, don't go through the time. So we get 226 over 286 equals cosine of x. What is my last step here? To get x by itself? Inverse. Yep, if you're ever looking for an angle, you're always going to use that inverse. What'd you guys get for your answer?
37.
Should get 37.8. Only does it when